Coming to you from the U.S. and streaming all over the world. This is Shotgun Sports USA. Get accurate, reliable information in every single episode. With interviews from the best shooters in the game, the best gun clubs across the globe, and industry-leading companies that revolutionize the sport. Find us online at shotgunsportsusa.com. Shotgun Sports USA is powered by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend, and driven by Beretta, the #1 choice of champions. Also brought to you by Cole Gunsmithing, the #1 Beretta premium dealer in the U.S. Rick Hemingway, the largest Permatic trap dealer in the country. Castellani USA and Ultimate Shooting Accessories, the exclusive importer and distributor of Castellani shooting vests and apparel. Soundgear Phantom, the world's first custom Bluetooth compatible and rechargeable hearing protection device. Clay Target Vision, the largest Pila dealer in the world and the best customer service in the business. And Clay Shooter Supply, specializing in sporting and field shotguns, rifles, handguns, ammunition, and more. Welcome to the show. Better with Beretta. Pro tips from the #1 choice of champions.
Hi, I'm Zach Kienbaum, professional shooter with Team Beretta. One of the biggest tips I can give any given shooter, it sounds like a very simple thing because it is, but it's looking at the target. Looking at the target, there's so much more to it. It's so important that we have hard focus on the target because when your eyes are on the target, your brain's telling your hands what to do. I think a lot of people, they read an article or watch a video talking about look at the bird, and then they go out on their next practice or tournament day and they think that they just need to stare hard at the bird. Well, there's more to it than that. The human eye can only physically look at the bird for 1 to 2 seconds, so it's really important that we know where we want to kill the bird so we know when to engage our most effort at truly looking at it. We can't hold the bird with 100% hard focus from the trap to the ground. So we want to ramp up that focus into the break point so that as you're pulling the trigger, the moment you're pulling the trigger is when you have the most intense hard focus on the bird. We want to, as that shot goes off, we want to hold that hard focus till the bird breaks. A lot of people miss targets because their eye comes off the bird as they're pulling the trigger or just a moment too early. But it's ramping up that focus to have the most intense visual focus as you pull the trigger, maintaining focus on the bird till it breaks. Simple concept. It is the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to do the day you learn how to do it, and it's going to be the hardest thing you do 20 years from now because that is the biggest struggle for any top level shooter or beginner.
In this episode, we discuss the history of Castellani and how it became one of the most noticed brands in the shooting world, the craftsmanship, and the jump into the U.S. market. That's where Castellani USA and Ultimate Shooting Accessories comes in. With stellar sales throughout the United States since 2014, Tom Lotus created a business that supplied shooters everywhere with a name and a company they can trust. Tom handed the business over to Dan Creekmur in 2022, based on the same business model with treating customers like family and producing a product that they can be proud of. Please welcome to the show, Dan Creekmur. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's great being here.
I've worn a Castellani vest for years, and I've been doing podcasts for 3 or 4 years, and I've never had anyone from Castellani or Ultimate Shooting Accessories on the show before. I'm glad to have you on.
Thanks. It's great to finally be on. It's something that I've been actually looking to do, and excited to finally get the chance and opportunity to do this.
I don't know much about Castellani. I know that they make a good product. I know that I can call you and get my custom size made, custom length, custom this and that. I like that, but I don't know much about the company. Can you tell me a little bit about how it came to? Give me some history about Castellani.
Sure. So Maurizio Castellani originally formed it in 1983. And so we actually just recently hit our 40th year anniversary. Interesting part is he actually came from the fashion industry and started to really promote and push into the shotgun sports arena. So his background, tied definitely into the fashion, and then that just pulled over and transitioned into the shooting world. So Castellani is the global leader and ranked number one shooting vest in the world. So if I'm sure you've seen it, they participate in the Olympics. You definitely see the growth here in the U.S. We have 40 plus dealers in over 30 countries. So
Wow.
A huge distribution and sales force there. Speaking for last year, they doubled their facility, and so due to the growth, and invested a ton into automation to meet the global demands. So right now, their type of machinery, we have different cutting machines.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, the machine that they would have was a manual process where you would actually load fabric and have to pull it for each time that you're going to run the product. So what's nice now, this new product line, you're able to have preloaded fabric rolls, and when you submit the jobs to the machine, it will automatically feed the fabrics, so they cut automatically.
Nice. So they do everything in house. They don't have to send it out to somebody to sew them and all that stuff. Everything's done in house.
No, everything is done in house. That's probably the best part, is that the quality control is managed directly in Italy. Everything is there.
Maybe you can explain this to me. When I get my vest in, the embroidery looks so good. Like, if you take it to a shop somewhere, a local seamstress or whoever does embroidery, it seems like it always looks worse than it does when it comes from them. Why is that?
Probably the biggest thing is when you go through, especially like the embroidery files, when they're generating that, there's a couple of things. One is the time that you take creating the embroidery file. So there's processes where you want to make sure the thread count is higher. So what happens a lot of time is when you do it at local shops, they try to not have that. It's the quality that you're not gaining because they're basically reducing the thread count. So when that happens, your quality is not as high. So what you end up seeing is kind of a ghosting effect of the fabric behind, and I'm sure that's what you're probably talking about.
Yeah.
So you just don't get that high-end embroidery that really pops. So you have a combination between the machinery itself, the actual high-end thread, and then the ability, of course, to make sure that your thread count is based on your file that you're producing.
Didn't you tell me at one point that they sew everything, all the embroidery on before they make the vest?
Yeah, so that's another thing that you can tell from when a vest is manufactured by a factory, is that when you actually look at the vest, wherever the embroidery is, normally if you do it after the fact, you're going to see a panel kind of bleeding through on the other side. So you get that paper transition. This doesn't happen. So they end up having a back panel that hides all that embroidery. So this way, each panel is cut from the machines. Once it's cut from the machines, then it's taken to the embroidery process. And that's when they do all the embroidery, and then they transfer it to the actually building section where they're going to assemble it by hand.
That little bit of history from Castellani leads into you being one of the 40 dealers in 30 countries, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yes, we are the main importer and distributor for North America.
Okay, and you're operating basically under Ultimate Shooting Accessories, which I'm sure if you listen to this podcast, you've heard once or twice the name. But tell me a little bit about that, and how you got involved with Ultimate Shooting Accessories, and how Ultimate Shooting Accessories got involved with Castellani.
Yeah, so Ultimate Shooting Accessories was founded by Tom Lotus, which you know as well, and in 2014. And I actually started with Tom at the same time. So I've been in it since the beginning. I was kind of in the background. doing a lot of the stuff with the mock-ups and some operations and website order fulfillment. But he started the company, and really his whole goal and mission statement was to provide high-end quality products to the shotgun sports arena, and provide customer service. I mean, that's really the biggest thing that Tom, if you know him like I do, customer service is what we sell. That's what it comes down to. So it's a combination of that's the secret recipe. It's having a high-end quality product and customer service. So then where kind of Castellani USA started and kind of formed, it's really more of a branding perspective. So since Castellani is our main important product, and USA being ultimate shooting accessories, that's how really we merged the two and we formed Castellani USA. We still are, of course, ultimate shooting accessories. That's we have other high-end products, and that's what we'll continue to sell and distribute. But Castellani being our biggest brand.
To me, it seems like this sport's growing year over year. Have you seen a growth in, I guess, your sales in the past 5 or 6 years?
Continual, literally year after year. It's been a continual growth. So over really the past 7 years, the USA, and this is coming from Castellani, has the biggest market growth over the past 7 years. So it continues to grow. It's one of the reasons too, where one of the things that we have that's nice is, on top of being able to do, like you talked about a little earlier, is the custom vest. Mm-hmm. We have a large inventory we have for our website for continual, basically, anyone could pick up a product in a Castellani vest, they order it, and we have a high inventory that we can ship out to them. We ship basically same day. Everything is FedEx second day air, so they get it right away. One of those things that you have to do these days to really compete with, the market, like your Amazons and stuff out there. And we're continuing to grow our actual infrastructure internally here, just so that we can keep up with the continual demand. And so, again, as you can imagine, when you look at vests, you have all the various different color combinations, you have the different sizes, and then you have left-handed or right-handed for the recoil pad. So It's a large amount of SKUs that you have to have, but that's one of the things where we want to be able to make sure that we can service our customers and have a product that they can basically get within 2 days. And then we can also do customs, but that's our biggest thing.
Well, how many do you normally stock? I mean, because they're coming from overseas, so how many do you normally have to keep here to keep people happy? I guess you'd say.
So we're in a continual excess of amount of 1,000+ vests, and that number will continue to grow this year as we really push on new products. We have some new product lines that are coming out, so that's where we'll continue to grow, add some more SKUs, and that number, though, I would imagine will get close to doubling by the end of this year.
Now, talk about Castellani and some of the new stuff they have. I know when I started wearing Castellani vests, the pockets were different, and now they're even more different. The fabric's different. You can print on the backs. What are some of the things that they offer or that you offer to people that they may not know about?
So when the Tokyo Olympics came out, and this is something that we'll have to talk about a little bit, but we'll circle back. There was a fabric that we released called the TK Pro fabric. The TK Pro fabric is a very high-end technical fabric that we use now on our real pro vests as well. So if you've ever seen the one sleeve vest, which is the TK Pro, when we released that for the Tokyo Olympics, we basically adopted that fabric and put it into our real model vest. So that fabric, what is great about it is it's a color fast fabric, so which basically means it's not going to fade in the sun. It will hold up to extreme weather conditions. It looks brand new basically after you wash it, so it constantly looks sharp. The other thing is the nice part, and this actually stems back to really, I think, Maurizio and the fashion world industry. So they're constantly looking at, and they're exposed because they're in Europe, in Brescia, Italy. They have the ability to meet with suppliers out there where they can look at new and innovative technical fabrics. So talking about the pockets, if you ever grab one of the new Castellani vests, you'll see that when you put shells or you put your hands in the pockets, they're not going to stretch vertically. This is by design because you don't want anything to stretch that direction. You want to be able to go in your pockets, grab the shells, and not have anything pushed down. The vest, though, that fabric will stretch horizontally, and that's by design. So again, it's to kind of be able to expand with your gun shells, but then also with your body. So everything just fits to you snug, but then can stretch with it as well. So that's one part with the technical fabric that's definitely newer that, we're adopting more into our standard line.
You brought up fading, the new fabric doesn't fade. I know some of the older Castellani vests that you see are faded, which is, I would just expect, because you're out, you're sweating in them, you're in the sun, you wash them, you dry them, you do all this to them. But you're saying the new fabric that you have now doesn't do any of that.
That's correct. Yeah, and all traditional cottons, especially when you get into like your navies and blacks, those will fade, just from sweat and from the sun, different exposures, weather. But with it's a polyester blend that you have, and those are not susceptible to those type of environments. And really, the biggest thing is having those properties, those color fast properties. So, yep.
You're talking about how it hugs your body and all this stuff, this new fabric. I know that you're really about fit. And when I call to get a new vest, you'll say, all right, well, I need to know this measurement, that measurement, or whatever it may be. How important is that for the vest to fit versus just not fitting, I guess you say?
Yes. So that is literally the most important thing, is to have a proper fitting vest. Such as pockets holding your shells, that's a byproduct of really what the vest is supposed to do. The biggest feature is to have a consistent gun mount and repeatable gun mount, and again, with the proper fabrics. So that is literally, you've come to the most important part. So if, for example, I see people, and I get this all the time, where people will reply back through either email or call me and tell me things like, oh, I haven't had a vest that fit me in X amount of years, and I finally put one of the Castellani vests on, and oh my God, it's so much different, and this is great. And getting that is probably the most rewarding thing ever, when you get these comments back like that. And really what it is, when you look at if a vest is too big, what happens is people can get hung up. If the fabrics are not right, you can, it may slide or slip on you when you're on a certain gun mount. So these are all things that we have, and that's where we offer different recoil pad materials. So like Alcantara is one of them. We have your fabrics. We still have leather. There's suede out there. So it's really an Alcantara being probably the biggest one that's a game changer for us, that's really been adopted well within the market.
That's kind of like suede, isn't it? Really? It looks like it, feels like it.
It looks like suede. The big difference though is the durability of it. So when you actually see how much from that repeatable gun mount and just using it over and over again, that's really what Alcantara is about. It's that the durability. Yes, it feels similar to a suede-like material. It's what they put in high-end, automotive cars. So again, it's for its durability properties. So.
Wait a minute before you hit that skip button right here. Now through the end of April 23, Castellani USA is offering a coupon code for 10% off anything on their website, including vests, plus free shipping in North America. If you've been looking to buy, now is the time. Head over to ultimateshootingaccessories.com and use the coupon code Shotgun Sports, all one word, at checkout, and place that order. Castellani in the Olympics. I know that a lot of people use your vest. They're in the Olympics, but I don't know how many. Maybe.
Yeah. So.
And what vest were for what Olympic games?
So right now we're probably. I know last year we were over 60% from the numbers that I saw of participants that are wearing Castellani vests. I believe that number is much higher now, but if you look at basically any of the Olympic shooters, that's what they're shooting. Everything is a Castellani vest. The best part about the Olympics and how it works, and really what Castellani does, this is where all of our innovation comes from. So, for example, when I came on board, it really started with the London line. So if you look at all the product lines that we have from the history that at least I've been here since 2014, you had the London series, then you had the Rio, then you had the TK Pro, which was the Tokyo, and we will be coming out with a new one for Paris, France. And so there's innovation steps that take place while we're through each one of these through the Olympic periods. So starting with the London, when you look at that vest, one of the big differences, you had an elastic waistband. So when you would wear that vest, you can feel where the weight distribution was at. And so when Maurizio started working with the Olympians, after each one of those Olympics, he asked them, technical questions. What does he like? What don't they like? And he gets their feedback. And that's how he keeps innovating and pushing the boundaries of the vest. And again, there's a lot of technical aspects in these. So for example, going from the London to the Rio, we started to incorporate the side panels. So if you look at the stretchy side panels, we remove the elastic waistband in the back and we pull those side panels. What does that do? Now you have an even distribution throughout your body, especially when you have your shells in there. So you get this weight that doesn't just feel like it's sitting at your hips. It's distributed equally throughout your body. Then with the TK Pro, again, innovating, pushing the boundaries. One of the things was how to work on more of that consistent gun mount. So that's where the one sleeve came in. When the one sleeve came in, we had, of course, the high zipper that comes up. And with the sleeve, it ends up kind of pulling the recoil pad tight so that when you go to do your consistent gun mount, nothing's moving. It's part of the sleeve. And again, now we're working on the 2024 Paris, France model, which I'm not sure what that's going to be called yet. But and he's going to be working with the Olympians again to keep pushing and innovating.
All right, so they work with all the Olympians to get their feedback because I'm sure that he wants to provide something that they want to use. So, which is good. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's how you find out what people want. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Maurizio's, is he kind of not stepping down, but kind of backing up a little bit and letting one of his nephews or cousins or something come in and run the place?
So Maurizio's, he's the main person there, and Andrea is who I work with, and I look at him as my main point of contact. Most important person that I'm working with on a daily basis. So very important, and he's one that will eventually take over, I think, at some point from Maurizio.
I think I met him at Nationals last year, and he was a super, super nice guy, and funny. He's pretty funny. When somebody would walk up and he was right there next to him, ready to talk to him. So he was a super nice guy. And
Andrea's great, and like I said, we're working with him, and I'm working with him on a daily basis. We're communicating. He's great. He helped coordinate a drop shipment to the U.S. Open for a bunch of our sponsored shooters so that we can get it there in time. Nice. Everything arrived on Monday. So again, we stress and we both have the same, principles and philosophies that customer service is what it's all about.
If you in these days and time, if customer service isn't there, I don't think you have a business anymore. And you got to have that.
Completely agree, and that's where I think that's really the only way you can truly set yourself apart. And it's one of the big reasons too. I got into this, with Tom when he started the company. Those business principles go a long way with me, and it's, to me, I think that's everything. And we need to set ourselves apart, and that's how we do it.
I know you can get vests in all different sizes. Do you make a women's cut and a men's cut?
That's probably one of the biggest differentiators as well, that with the Castellani vest, I don't know, unless you're getting a custom vest manufactured, there's no off-the-shelf brands that I'm aware of today that have a men's and women's cut. They are completely tailored different, and again, to serve different properties. So again, a huge advantage to the Castellani line is that they're tailored. They're not unisex vests.
And I feel like when you put them on, it's just like, I've been wearing them forever. It's just like it's ready to go. I don't.
Yeah, actually, and that's probably, again, another thing. So a lot of vests out there will have break-in periods, and with the Castellani vest, it's probably one of the advantages too, that you can put on a vest. There's no break-in period. So if you were shooting in a vest a year ago, and that's what it was, the same, that Castellani vest a year ago, and you've been using it for a while, you put a brand new one on, there's no break-in period. I can send you a vest tomorrow, and it's going to fit and feel exactly like the last vest you had.
Dan, name some of the people that are wearing your vest.
So Anthony Matarese, Connor Daniels out there, Derek Mine, of course, Diane Sorrentino, Gibbon Miles, Karen Miles now. So
Yep.
congratulations to them both. Halen Hanks, Jerry Greenwood, Joe Finizzi, Wendell Cherry, of course, Todd Hitch, Shelby Moon, Nick Berry.
Good shooters wearing them. So, yeah, I mean, so you know that the quality's there and you know that the service is there, because if it wasn't, I'm sure they wouldn't be wearing them, you know?
Yeah.
So
What we recognize is probably the top 50 shooters in the Sporting Clays arena. We sponsored 45 of them.
I didn't know that. One thing I do know and notice, you know, when we did the Super Squad this year and we did nationals, and you see the Team USA members and you see those all throughout, you know, every regional or big shoot that you're at, and you see guys wanting to wear that Team USA vest. You are the official sponsor for Team USA. And what does that mean for you?
This is a great way to give back to the sport. So we sponsor, it's a joint venture between Castellani and Castellani USA Ultimate Shooting Accessories. We provide the NFCA Sporting Clays and Feast Task team all their vests. We've been doing that for the past 6 years. We'll continue to do so. And actually, I know you were talking about this with the junior team as well.
Sub-junior.
Sub-junior, yep. Sub-junior team will be providing the sub-junior team their vests as well. So we're going to continue supporting them. That's going to continue to happen. And we have some exciting stuff. I'm already working on the 2024 vest.
So the sub-junior stuff is new. I mean, it just came
new.
out.
It just came out. Yep. This literally just came out. And I was actually just reached out to Michael Hampton about it. And we will continue to push and support them as much as we can.
Talk about some other teams you may support. I know school teams, and what other teams do you do?
Yeah, so we also sponsor the SCTP international team. Mm-hmm. So that's another big one for the youth organizations. The paraplegic Olympic team. And again, like I was mentioning, we have a lot of the many shooters of the USA Shooting Olympic team. So definitely a lot there. And then we branch off into, we're the lead supplier for universities, youth organizations, clubs. And so when you look at that, we're providing vests for a huge amount of the schools out there. It's another thing that we do, and we do customizations, and we get into that whole aspect as well.
Yeah. So a school, just if they want vests from you, they just call and say, "Hey, we need vests," and you design them. And
yeah, so the process is actually pretty streamlined. What we do is they reach out, and I usually get their logos. I'll take a look at their school colors. I keep providing mock-ups basically until they're happy. There's no charge to things like that. It's all part of the whole customer service. So we work on that until they're happy with the design. And then again, it gets into the fitting process, which is the most important part. We will, two ways that we handle it. One is that we send out a fitting kit that they can use to size everybody. Or in occasions as well, I actually will fly out, or I drive out to the different universities and teams, and I assist in fitting.
About, I don't know, Dan, 6 months ago, I was going to shoot at a tournament. You're talking about flying down, driving down, whatever. And where are you from?
Chicago.
All right, you're in Chicago. Nice place to be, by the way.
Thank you.
So I called you. I said, "Listen, I've got some people down here that want to get their vest checked for fit, to make sure everything's right with it." Mm-hmm. And I think I left you a message. I might have sent you a text. I don't know what I did. Long story short, that was probably 9:00 that morning. At 5:30 that afternoon, you were in my driveway in Georgia.
Yep.
At my house.
Yep. That is correct.
I'm sitting in my office in here. Matter of fact, we were recording an episode, and I turned around, and Dan's walking in my office. I'm thinking, well, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Weren't you just in Chicago like a few hours ago? Yeah, I flew down. You said you needed somebody to get sized, and that is a true story.
Yep.
That is a true story. That right there told me, well, this guy's serious about his business, So if that's the kind of stuff you do for people, then you'll be in it for a long time. That's a fact. What else does Ultimate Shooting Accessories offer? I know they offer other stuff other than just vests. We've been talking about vests, everybody likes talking about vests. I mean, that's the first thing you see. When somebody starts to shoot, what do they want? Besides a gun, they want a vest.
A vest.
It's important. So, I mean, that's why we've talked about this. I don't know much about the Castellani brand. I want to find out a little bit about it, and now I want to find out what ultimate shooting accessories offers other than that.
Yeah, and I think just to comment on, one thing that you said there, probably the biggest factor that I see, and even talking about some of the youth organizations, when and why the vest, I believe, seems to be so important, right? When you put that vest on, I do believe there's kind of like, especially a Castellani vest with the way it fits, it's like putting on a fine Italian suit, right? You kind of get the sense of empowerment, or even if you're getting dressed up in a suit, that same feeling that you get, I believe you get when you're putting on the vest. And that's truly how I feel. And I know a lot of other people that make the same comments to me. So there's that kind of sense of empowerment. And
Yeah.
probably one of the most satisfying things that I've seen is, especially in the youth organizations, when I'm at, for example, like SCTP Nationals, when you see a group of kids that all go out there and they're wearing those vests and they put them on, you can tell that they're just, everything is the collaboration between them all, the self of empowerment, and just this is game day. They're ready to go. And so that is probably one of the most satisfying things to actually see. And, then to kind of go back into, again, we're providing high end, top quality brands. That's really what Ultimate Shooting Accessories is about.
Yeah.
So we have like Negrini is another line. So again, it's going to be the gun cases. We have Mac Wet gloves. We do gun glove, sound gear. Oh, and then Anthony's book. That's probably another thing. Again, you got to have on your arsenal. So that's another top quality thing. And then it's all comes down to customer service.
You said a fine Italian suit. Well, I'm a big dude. Okay. I don't have any fine Italian suits. So my point in saying that is I've heard some people say before, I can't wear Castellani because I'm a big guy and that they're not made to fit big people. Well, they will fit. Trust me. They got sizes that'll fit a gorilla. Okay. The difference is if you get in touch with Dan, if you're a bigger guy and you want more room or you want it a little shorter or longer or whatever it is, that can happen. And that's the way I do mine. I want mine this long, or if I buy this size, I notice that the vests tend to be longer. So I just call Dan and tell him, hey, shorten it 3 inches. And, he tells me where to measure and I get it. And it's perfect every time. So if you're in that same situation that I'm in, all you have to do is reach out, and it's literally 10 minutes of your time and you'll get what you need versus what you just have to settle with, so.
Yep. And that's a huge important thing, and that's what it's all about. We do have our off the shelf you can just buy, and like I said, we can turn it around. Everything that's ordered on the website is shipped same day. You receive it within 2 days later. But any of those customs, again, you're going to have those measurements where as the vest generally gets bigger, it also gets longer. So that's where we just have to account for either reducing or lengthening the vest. And that's something easy that I can talk through on the phone. As you know, we've done it before. And and then we produce it, and like you receive the vest, you put it on, and it fits.
Yep. Even my 9-year-old, you made a vest for him. I didn't know you could make vests that small. He loves it.
Yep. Those are great too. We actually have even smaller vests, like the junior vest that we sell as well, and it's great to just be able to have that whole arsenal of vests. So any size, it doesn't matter.
So talk about your website just for a minute, which I know you're very hands-on with. You go on your website, you can order any of this stuff we've talked about. The gloves, Negrini case. You have the Negrini in stock, right? A lot of it. Maybe not all of it.
Yep.
Yeah. And the gloves, the sound gear, I know we can get them in touch with Gina, I'm sure, is who you deal with there.
Yep, correct. Yep.
But what do they just go on there? They place the order, put their information in, and that's all they have to do? It comes right to them?
And it comes right to them. And then the only time that it would change is if you're looking to do, of course, a team vest, or if you're looking to get a custom done, then you just reach out. You can reach out on the site and the contact us information, and just do sales at ultimateshootingaccessories.com, or you can use we have a form on there that you can fill out as well. And then, of course, phone number. You can just call me direct. You can always get a hold of me. That's what, again, a big point is that you can pick up the phone, call me, and I'll walk through everything with you. And that really just applies on, the customs. But other than that, anything that you order there, we're going to get it to you right away. If it's not in stock, that's where it goes to back order, and we're constantly placing orders with the factory, and we'll get it in and then ship it out to you.
I mention this probably every episode, but I mention it to everybody because I like to hear their answers. If you had a 5-year plan with your business, Ultimate Shooting Accessories, Castellani USA, what would that be? What would be your goals for 5 years?
So what I would like to see is, the continual growth patterns that we've seen, of course. And really, when I look at it, the most important thing, especially in the youth side, so that really I see as the future of where the sport is going. So the more that we can continue to grow the universities, the teams, and on the youth side, that's what's going to keep it around. Those are the people that are up and coming. So that's really an important factor in this. It's, of course, making sure that we're always producing a quality product, which, of course, Castellani's been doing this for 40 years. So we have that. So that part of the secret sauce is good. It's just a matter of then customer service. So continue to push our customer service, grow within staff. That's one thing that we did recently. We picked up Laura is now a new employee that's working on our social media and marketing aspects. So the more that we can continue to push and grow the company, the better it gets for everybody. And it's really about, again, I mean, I've said this throughout the whole podcast, but I can't stress customer service. That's everything to us.
I mean, if you don't have it, then, who wants to buy from you? So, there's a lot of companies with good customer service in this sport. And that's the reason why, is because it's such a small arena of people, really. A small group of people. It's not a large group. I'm talking about competitive shooting, that you have to have good customer service. If you don't, it'll be over before you start, So I think that focusing on customer service is probably where I would definitely put a lot of my attention, just like you are, because like I said, without it, you have nothing, especially in this sport. So, but I think that's good.
Yeah, completely agree with you.
So what's your website, Dan?
So website is ultimateshootingaccessories.com. I can be reached, again, like I said, sales at ultimateshootingaccessories.com. You can reach us there.
Oh, that's on the website, I'm sure.
It's all on the website. So, yep, you can go there. Right. And my phone number's up there as well, so you can reach us anytime. Everything is listed. So,
all right, Dan, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, talking about Castellani a little bit, the vests, how your business operates, and I appreciate spending some time with me and telling me about that stuff. Where are you going to be next?
I will be at the Big Red Oak, Southeast Regional.
Oh, down here by me.
I'll be by you, so you can come by and visit.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. I know you got things to do. Probably have some vests to ship out, but thank you for coming on, and I'll see you soon.
No, truly thank you for having me on. It's been something that we've wanted to do for quite some time, so really appreciate it and appreciate your support with the community.
Thanks for listening. For more episodes, go to our website, shotgunsportsusa.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook.